Hello Blade Riders, welcome to another episode of Dread Skates. We're out here at beautiful Nowhere Beach on this glorious sunny day. Real quick, I just wanted to give a shout out to Alien Rides for sending this board over for me to test. And if you want to get my initial impressions on this board, I did a video collaboration with them over there. So go ahead and pause here and check that out. I'll have a link down in the comments if you're interested, or check it out after this one. All right, let's hit it.
Status confirmed. Checking rapid ground controls. Status confirmed. Sequence initialized. 3, 2, 1, 0. Rampage mode activated.
Alright, and welcome back to the studio. So, is the Velar a beast unleashed or just a freak on a leash? Let's get into it. The deck is 100% formed carbon fiber and has a 5-degree arched street carver style design with the battery and ESC enclosure mounted on the bottom of the deck. The matte finish on the deck is absolutely stunning and helps really show off the carbon fiber weave on this board. It's also a little easier to keep clean and gives the board an overall murdered out aesthetic. Goes without saying though that this deck has almost zero flex. The Velar is packing an absolutely chonky 14S4P 1036 watt-hour battery pack comprised of Samsung 50S cells. So full disclosure, I was not able to properly range test this board because every time I would try and go out to do so, it would go something like this. Oh boy, time to start distracting myself from the soul-crushing weight of reality. So that being said, I was able to run the numbers on Daniel Kwan's range estimator on his website, and I got about 33 miles or 53 kilometers of casual cruising, or about 30 miles or 48 kilometers of hard riding with some moderate inclines, which is actually pretty in line with the specs on Onsra's website. So kudos to them for not seriously padding out their range estimates. Included in the box is a 58 volt 4 amp fast charger, which should fully charge the board in about 4 to 5 hours. The charger itself feels decently premium and weighty in the hand and is FCNCE certified. The Velar is running Onsra's Orion ESC that can output 90 amps of peak power, but beyond that, there really is not much additional info on this ESC other than it does not appear to be VESC based. For a quick comparison, the Hobbywing controller on the Atlas Pro peaks at about 45 amps of peak power. The Velar, by comparison to most other off-the-shelf boards, is packing quite a bit of extra chooch under the hood here. Also included is Onsra's new NX remote, sporting a vibrant OLED display, highly ergonomic design, and features almost full user customization options for the screen info, braking strength, and the ability to tweak the individual ride modes. This makes the NX, in my opinion, one of the most powerful and versatile e-skate remotes on the market for an off-the-shelf e-skate. While the UI can be a bit tedious at first to navigate, the included manual features full color walkthroughs on how to set everything up and was fairly easy to follow. Additionally, the NX has 4 speed modes: Eco, Cruise, Sport, and Brutale, with each mode having a corresponding presets for top speed and acceleration that you would expect for each of those levels. The Velar is driven by dual 3500 watt 150 kV motors, and the TLDR here is that all you need to know is the lower the kV number, the more torque you have. The Velar I was sent also features Onsra's new gear drives configured in a 4:3 gearing ratio. Also, for quick reference here, the standard Velar features the belt drive option and is capable of 2-in-1 compatibility, being able to swap the stock 200mm wheels for urethane street wheels. However, it does not appear that the gear drive currently has that option. Onsra advertises a top speed of 40 miles per hour, and during my testing I was normally cruising around at about 25 to 27 miles per hour and occasionally peaking the throttle above 30 plus miles per hour. I would say that on 200mm wheels, realistically based on rider weight and road conditions, I would say 36 to 38 is probably going to be a more realistic top end on this board, but under certain conditions, I could certainly see it easily hitting that 40 mile per hour mark. The board sits on 17-inch CNC'd aluminum trucks and features urethane barrel bushings as opposed to the spring and damper configurations that you'll usually find on boards of this style. The bushings can be adjusted via set screws on both the front and back of the board with the included T-wrenches. The Velar comes stock with 200mm pneumatic off-road tires on composite two-piece hubs. The build quality on the Velar overall is spectacular. Complete blackout aesthetic works well here. Looks aside, the fit and finish out of the box is exceptional with no scuffs or dings, and all the components are correctly fitted with little to no unexpected creaks, rattles, or otherwise undesirable behaviors during my testing. The Velar comes in two distinct flavors currently, with the belt drive option coming in at $2,690 USD and the gear drive option selling for $2,890 USD. Onsra also offers a 2-year parts and labor warranty standard on all their boards and has service centers in North America and Europe for long-term support. Hey, real quick, if you got this far and you like the video, keep watching it. Watch time is the only metric that matters, but if you want to go the extra distance, maybe think about hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications, or just leave a like down there. Every little bit helps. And if you didn't like the video, let me know why down in the comments. All right, let's get back to it. So this is about a 22% grade. It's pretty decent for testing kind of like the average climbing abilities of most boards, but to be honest, I'm pretty sure the Velar is going to crush it. So let's get at it. And since we're here, let's go ahead and test braking. So obviously we still got a little bit of wiggle here, but I am like dead on the hill here. So not a complete stop, but good enough for disco in terms of like slowing you down if you need to come to like a stop on a hill. With the basic specs out of the way, let's get into what makes this board exceptional for me and maybe some of the things that I think could use a bit of improvement. The ride feel of the Velar is exceptional, especially at higher speeds, with those barrel bushings really keeping me on the center line when I was pushing the throttle and allowed me to carve wide and deep when I really wanted to slow things down and get a little bit more carvy with it. And also, we really can't talk about anything else about this board until we take a moment to acknowledge just how stunning the Velar looks. While I've seen the same combo of black carbon fiber electric skateboard cookie cuttered plenty of times, the Velar somehow manages to keep things interesting and always turns heads when I'm out riding and draws plenty of love online. That said, I would like to see something like a raw aluminum unfinished truck option to maybe add a little bit of contrast. It's really hard to argue with just how good this board looks straight out of the box. Next, let's talk about performance. So as mentioned before, this board has got plenty of chooch, and while I wasn't really aiming for those higher speeds, this thing is a torque monster. It will absolutely dominate hills, whether you have the gear drive option or the belt, and the acceleration was incredibly smooth, and paired with the customization options of the remote that let you to really dial this board into your own preferences, it's really hard to beat what Onsra's got on offer here. If you were in the market for something like a Cali or a La Croix before those guys went under, I really feel that the Velar is probably going to be the best substitute. The NX remote is one of the best eSkate remotes I've handled to date, and I have handled a lot of eSkate remotes. It feels great in the hand, and it actually feels like it was designed by real humans to fit real human hands from an ergonomic perspective. Add to that the massive amount of user customization options in the menu and the mostly intuitive input UI compared to something like the Baja or the Evolve remote. I really think that this makes it one of the best parts of the Velar, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring that up. So no board is perfect, and the Velar is of course no exception. So you know what that means. Let's go on to some of the things that I think could use a bit of improvement. The ride feel and turning, and yes, I know that was one of the main things that I really liked about this board. Unfortunately, it's not all roses. The Velar, like the LaCroix and the Callies of the world that came before it, is a big beast. It's about 40 pounds. And the stock bushings are very, very stiff and make hard turns an absolute chore on this board. Onsra also does not offer any other duro or spring options, so it's really hard to get things dialed in. I think overall this is a real easy fix on Onsra's part, and I'm sure they'll have other options available down the line. So if you're looking for a super nimble and responsive board out of the box in terms of turning, the Velar might not be for you in this instance. Now this next one, if I could be allowed a bit of a Veruca Salt moment, I just have to say, where the f are the bindings? And I say that because this board is a very odd combination of components out of the box. It presents itself as a off-roader with those large knobbly tires, the option for gear drives, and the arched high clearance deck. Add to that, it weighs 40 pounds, and there are 0 options to mount straps or bindings. It may seem like a nitpick, but this really seemed like a design oversight on Onsra's part for this style of board, and I'd really like to see this corrected in the near future. It constantly felt like I was not able to really push the Velar as hard as I could without really locking in and putting my full weight behind turns, and straps would definitely help with turning. For the most part though, this probably won't be an issue for most riders, but it is a bit of a bummer to not have the option, period, considering this board's price point. So overall, the Velar is certainly an interesting creature. An odd mix of conservative street carver style and old school mountain board kind of charm to it. For those folks who missed the train on like the Callie or the LaCroix back in the day, and we're looking for that style of ride, I can tell you the Velar will certainly deliver on that experience. Should you get a Velar for yourself? Well, as always, I can't answer that for you. I can only hopefully add enough information in this video that you can make your own informed decision. However, if you do want to support the channel and pick up a Velar for yourself, I'll have some affiliate links down in the description. Until next time, stay safe out there, Blade Riders. Peace.